Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio, and with me today is Jiunn Liu and Seth Geis. How you guys doing?
For Monday, not bad.
From Monday, not bad.
Yeah.
So
Doing well, man.
So today we're talking about the Fernandez Torrens 4ta Década Barrilito Leyenda, which is kind of a double robusto, I guess, 5.5-inch by 56 ring gauge.
Yeah.
Comes out of the Tabacalera Fernandez Torrens factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Dominican Habana 2000 Clara, binder and filler both from Dominican. Blended by Victor Infante. Price point is $7.25. And the cigar was released in August of 2018. So with all that out of the way, Jiunn, what was your smoking experience like?
I think it was overall, decently good. Within the first third, I got some pretty harmonious set of flavors: cedar, nuts, black pepper. I got this really nice cherry cordials that I like quite a bit. Retrohaley was the favorite part of my cigar by a long shot, just because I got so much of the flavors it's a lot more pronounced and fuller, like cedar, black pepper, nuts. That cherry cordial just really coming through nicely. Finish mixture of a soft shaved cedar, some minerals, kind of in the rear palate. It didn't linger for quite a while. Strength and body wise, it was medium. Its strength kind of built up to a medium full, as kind of starting from that second third to beginning of the last third. And then as the cigar kind of went on, I felt like it kind of got more minerals. It got a lot creamier, especially in that second third. Kind of a nice bready yeast kind of a creaminess. And towards the middle last third, I felt like the profile kind of picked up some sharpness to it, especially sharpness in baking spices, minerals. So it kind of threw off some of that that harmonious characteristics that I was talking about. In terms of construction, I thought it was really good. I mean, I rated the burn to be one score below our perfect score. The only downside was I got some flowery ash out of it. Draw was absolutely perfect. So, what about you, Seth?
Yeah, man. First third really opened up nice. Leather, red pepper, was getting some cinnamon, hay, cedar qualities. There's the soft earth. Smoked around like a medium full in terms of strength and body, just really balanced. Entering in the second third, just it had this really nice soft spice undertone, which I noted as beautiful soft spice undertone, which is just classic me. Some leather, hay, cedar. I got some grassy qualities, and there was this earth and cinnamon as well. I thought it still remained around a medium full level for body and strength. And then in the final third, it just kind of showed some hay, cedar, dry spices, wood, leather, still smoking that medium full hater level. It was a balanced smoke. Oh wait, that's the dude, you can tell I haven't done this in a little while.
That's right.
Still medium full. Really nice construction from beginning to end. I think the cigar was constructed perfectly. Beautiful draw on it too. It just smoked great, man. What about you, Aaron?
What about construction-wise?
Fantastic construction on mine. I thought the burn line was just razor sharp.
Nice.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for me, cigar started with cedar, had a little slight sweetness to it. It just kind of really continued on with that. There weren't much in the way of transitions. Retrohale carried the same set of flavors. About 1.25 inches into cedar, and the retrohale kind of gained a little bit of additional spice to it. And then as the first third was wrapping up, a little bit of cream kind of joined in with that slightly sweet cedar. Strength was right at mild for me. And then second third, still continuing on with the creamy and slightly sweet cedar. A little bit of char comes in about a 1/2 inch in. Retro is still exhibiting that same profile with the char there. About 1 inch in, all the flavors became a little bit fuller. And then about 1.25 inches in, the cream morphed into a muskiness to kind of go along with that slightly charred and sweet cedar. As the third's wrapping up, sweetness leaves the profile, and slightly charred cedar along with a little bit of muskiness. Strength built up to mild medium. And then in the final third, char increased a little bit. Muskiness just slightly behind the cedar. A little further in, the cedar picks up in fullness even more, with the char maintaining its level as at what it was. Retrohale is still carrying that same profile. And then about 3/4 of an inch in, cedar transitions over to oak. Still has the char and the mustiness there. And then as the cigar's wrapping up, oak transitions back to cedar to go along with that char and the mustiness, and the strength remained at that mild medium mark. And then for construction, just a slight waviness in the first third. Burn line was just razor sharp after that. Ash held on 2-inch increments. It was a really stout cigar. In regards to the draw, a little bit tighter than I prefer, but didn't really cause any issues with the smoking experience. So no big deal there. So Jiunn, overall thoughts on this one?
I overall liked it. I mean, I really like smoking cigars like this because, you know, I don't know anything about this brand. And, you know, so that's one reason why I like smoking cigars in which I have like zero preconceived notions on it. And then secondly, you know, having something that's like a Dominican Puro, which is also not very well heard of in our industry, like that's also really unique for me. You kind of taste like, it's almost like, you know, when I try coffee that's like single origin coffee, right? And as compared to like blended mixed coffee, you get a lot more sense of the like terroir and the characters behind that particular country. So I think that's cool. In terms of this cigar, I mean, I thought it was good overall. Surprisingly good for something I never heard of, right? So, you know, I do think that within the last 30 could use some of that refinement. But, you know, then again, like I don't really, when I think about like Dominican cigars, like I don't really think exactly refinement. That's not the first word that comes to mind, except for when you're talking about like Davidoff cigars. You know,
so without get out of his chair. So
which we all love so much.
Yeah. All right, Seth. How about you? What were your overall thoughts?
You know, I have an appreciation for this Dominican Habana 2000 wrapper. And Davidoff's use it on some things. I'll agree with Jiunn, and you said it too. Is there a lot of transitioning in the cigar? No, I don't think there is a lot of transitioning from third to third. But I found that it had a really nice flavor profile that was fairly complex, and it had depth, and it was balanced, and it just smoked really well. So it just made for a really nice smoking experience. So probably complexity, I'll agree with you that it's lacking in that sense, but it's just a really good flavor profile. So it's one of these things that I don't think it really needs all that transitioning. But yeah, I just thought it was just a really enjoyable smoke that just kind of caught my attention. I think that's one of those things whenever, like Jiunn, you talked about, whenever you smoke a brand like this, you know, sometimes you go into these things and majority of the time, these like no name brands, it's going to fucking suck. But every once in a while you find something which is like pretty enjoyable. And I think that's what this is. And I think in the end, I bet it all just comes down to our overall impression of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I mean, it was exactly as you said. Not a lot of transitions in regards to that. The flavor profile was very consistent. It was very mellow. It was nuanced. I think this would be like the perfect cigar if you are trying to introduce someone to cigars that has never smoked a cigar before. You give them this cigar, you probably get them hooked pretty easily, and then they have to go down the rabbit hole and figure it out all the rest of the stuff out when they have to smoke other cigars that, you know, do different stuff to them. But you know, the price point on this cigar is fantastic. The smoking time is really good because it's a pretty stout cigar. For me, the flavor profile wasn't enough to like really get me engaged, but I mean, I would have no problem smoking this if I'm, you know, doing some other stuff because, you know, for at least in my impression, I didn't have to like focus on the flavors to really dig anything out of it. Construction is really good. The ash holds on. Like if you're kind of doing other stuff, it's not going to be something that like makes you pay attention to it because it's doing something that you don't want it to do. So, with, you know, I'd smoke it again, but it wouldn't be something I'm going to go like searching out for to smoke over and over. So that'd be my thoughts on it. So getting into the scores, start at the top with you, Seth, 8.23. Jiunn was next at 7.07, and then I gave it a 5.50. All right, so Seth,
up, mama.
823. How was that?
That is very high. No, I'd have to go back and listen. I'm not going to back down from this. I really enjoyed this stick.
Yeah,
I really did. I was blown away by it. And you know, the biggest fear I have is like you tell people these and like people buy a bunch of them and there's a lot of inconsistency.
Right.
So God, I hope there's not a lot of inconsistency, but it's just a really good stick, and I love the size. I thought it was a really like good, thick, petite Robusto kind of a deal. So
Yeah,
I'm sticking to my guns on this one. If they have a booth at IPCPR?
no, they're supposed to start. I think really start releasing the cigars sometime this year. So they may be at the trade show this year. They may be there this year. I don't.
Those
I don't
motherfuckers better greet me with like.
Roll out the carton.
Right. Roll out that shit. All right,
Jiunn 7.07.
That's actually a really good score. It's not it's not something to like pass by. That basically means good consistent flavors throughout, really good construction. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, mine was a 5.50. It's just basically average flavor profile throughout with very good construction. And just average overall. I mean, like as we were talking before the show, like this is where the points kind of like give me a little bit of pause. It's like there's nothing wrong with this cigar. There's other cigars that get this score because they're just not that great. But this one is differently. Like it's a easy smoking cigar, really good construction. So I would lean more towards this than some of the other cigars where like they're giving you things that knock down the score here. So if that makes any sense. But we have another
easy smoke. It is an easy smoke.
Yeah, it's a really easy smoke.
It is.
Yeah, we have another. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
No, it's interesting. The whole time I was smoking this, right, I was like, "There's nothing offensive about this cigar," right? But I don't think that I should be giving this kind of a score. I was like, "Why doesn't it deserve a score like this?" Because it smokes well. It has some decent, good flavors.
Yeah.
Right?
But some people say that about Davidoff too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, Davidoffs are fucking good, man. That's different.
Well, no, Davidoffs are a different level, but there are some people. There's a lot of guys who, especially the guys who smoke a lot of these heavier Nicaraguans. They smoke a Davidoff and they say there's nothing to it. But it's just, is there nothing to it, or is it just that you're just not getting bombarded by tons of nicotine and so forth? Is there a little bit more elegance to it?
And this, I thought the ring gauge worked really well, actually. Like, originally seeing it, I was like, this is gonna be, like Petite Robusto or a Chode or something. But
yeah, I bet you if you put this in a Lonsdale, it would suck.
Yeah, you think so?
That's my guess.
So we have another Vitola, which is the Barrilito. It's 4x57, so we'll be able to see. I mean, the ring gauge is pretty much similar.
Dude, I was so blown away by I gave it to Havana Phil. I was like, I gotta have him smoke this thing.
Oh, okay. So you're already done with it.
He smoked it.
All right.
And he's like, dude, these are good. Yeah. I was like, aren't they? And then I was kind of telling him, he's like, where do I get them? I was like, I have no idea. He's like, what the hell did you give me this for?
We'll find out after the review if they, they've been in contact with me about when the review's coming out. So we'll get it going. And
yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to talk to him because it's pretty funky. I want to know where they are in the DR and so forth.
Yeah.
So this blender, Victor Infante, does he blend for any other brands by any chance?
I bet not.
I haven't heard that name before, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd have to get the story from him, and then you'd have to get the story from people who say they know him, and you'd have to keep getting stories from people. Then you combine them, and you just like take things here and there.
Yeah.
So. Exactly. All right. If you just catch this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. But also check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow us on the social media channels, and catch our review recaps on iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. And thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.